Our next comic is Andrew McNicholas. 365 days a year, it is summer for him. Andrew, get in here. Get in here. Get in here.
Howdy, everyone. So my gimmick is like I'm a law student, but I'm not a lawyer. So if you try to say like, oh, I got some advice from a lawyer, you're wrong, and I will sue you. So I brought some fun laws that I thought I could share with you all. This one is all about how to avoid getting pulled over by the police. So this was a case, State v. Harton, May 22, 2002. Still good law. A judge asked a guy, a couple officers, hey, how do you pull people over? We want to know an exact science about it. So these are the things they came up with. Whether the driver looks in another direction or stares when observing the officer's vehicle. Hold on, I couldn't have read that right. Yeah, so if you look at a cop, you're done. Because if you keep staring, you're gonna get pulled over, and if you look away, you're gonna get pulled over. So I guess if you can like cross your eyes and have one go that way and one go that way, you might be able to do something. Oh, whether the vehicle exhibits a license plate from certain drug-known origin states, such as Texas, Arizona, or Florida. So if you're taking just a family trip, you know, your gam was in Florida, she's driving up to see you, oh, she's getting pulled over real quick. They just need a license plate, that's it. Whether the driver is tense, nervous, overly polite, or totally agreeable to anything the officer says. So if you say yes ma'am or yes sir, you should just go ahead and stick your wrist out because you're gonna get arrested. That's totally agreeable and also overly polite. You know, why are you being so polite to cops? I don't get it. I do a lot of research on that one. In my research, I found out about this cool website, public domain, free for anyone to do. They list all of the countries and the nuclear bombs that they have. And so the first couple you'd expect, you know, Russia, down to the science, Russia, 12,832. United States of America, 11,813. China, 10,001. And you're like, okay, that one's kind of weird. Where it gets fun though, is this section or category called 10 or fewer. So these are countries, you know, Pakistan, 10 or fewer nukes. You know, India, 10 or fewer nukes. I don't know how they have the exact science on the upper ones, but they can't tell me whether India has 3 or 9, because that's a big difference. But what's really spooky, y'all, is there's one name on this list in the 10 or under section called Jeff. I don't know if it's like a country, they're like, just call us Jeff, we'll get it. Or if it's a corporation. I like to imagine it's like a 45 or 50-year-old guy from Wall Street who just made a killing. And he was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy some nukes. Like, fuck all these people, like I'm gonna get it. Which led me also to think like, how old do you have to be to buy nukes? Like 18, 21, 25? That just scares me because, you know, when I get mad if I'm driving dirty in traffic, I'll flip you the bird. If Jeff gets mad, he's flipping the switch. Like, oh, you don't want it. It's terrible. When I was looking that up, I really wanted to double check this China thing. And I got reading about international waters. And international waters are pretty cool. If you just go 200 kilometers off of any coastline, you can do pretty much anything. Like I'm talking murder, I'm talking heroin, I'm talking suicides, like whatever you want to get into. And I was looking up this international waters thing. China was real specific about it. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. So I had to do some Google translating because I wanted to get these words exactly right. Google Translate is amazing. I figured out how to say things in native Mandarin Chinese. And I was like, well, this will come in handy because there's a guy that I know, he's in grad school with me. His name's Bruce. His actual name isn't Bruce, he's from China, it's Tianyi Lu. And he's like, call me Bruce though. I was like, Bruce Lee, that's pretty cool. He's big into the gym. You know, I like to get in there, but I'm not as good as him. This guy's 6'4", jacked. Like he wants to be a power lifter. Like that's what he wants to do. And I was like, man, I would feel so cool, such a good friend if I could say something in his native tongue, you know, like, let's go Bruce, like, hit that weight. And then I thought, oh, it'd be even funnier if I called him a bitch while he was working out. So I looked it up. The exact phrase to say this in English, Bruce is a bitch, with that exact inflection is Tianyi Lu, she could be out too. So sure enough, this man signs up, 600 pounds on his back, goes down, Tianyi Lu, she could be out too, crumbles. I just called him a bitch, like what are you gonna do? He came up to me, he goes, Andrew, what'd you say to me? I said, let's go Bruce. He goes, no, you just called me a bitch. I got kind of scared because, you know, what if Bruce is Jeff? We're all fucked, man, he knows where I live. Well, thank you so much. My name's been Andrew McNicholas. Have a great rest of your night.
How about Andrew McNicholas? That was awesome. Give him another hand.